Hey guys, it's Manna, and welcome to Alternative Unicorn, a YouTube series where I discuss mental health, spirituality, and airy-fairy new age stuff. Today on Alternative Unicorn, I'm going to be giving an Osho Zen tarot reading. Now, if tarot reading isn't for you, just skip through this video. If it calls to you, then you should be here. And I felt called to use this specific deck today because the world is in such an intense place. There's a lot of turmoil going on, and these cards get really in depth, really analytical, really philosophical. And I think that what we need right now, or some of us need, at least I need, is some contemplation. And so I'm bringing this reading to you today so you can contemplate two of these cards, and if they apply to you, wonderful, and if not, we'll catch you next week for another video, so stay tuned. Okay, so before we start, I want to let you know that I meditated first before I pulled these two cards, and I want you to do the same thing. So take a minute to quiet your mind, connect with your own energy, and I want you to trust your first instinct. Your first instinct is usually really correct on these things, and decide if you are going to be listening to and focusing on card A or card B. So take a minute. All right. So the first card I'm going to read today is for card A. If you felt called to hear what card A is and think that that's the card that you need to hear, then this one's for you. Today, card A, I've pulled the card of compromise. I'll go ahead and post a picture of that. For those of you that pulled card A for compromise, compromise does not mean what you normally would think it would mean. In this context, in the Zen Osho Tarot context, this is a deeper, kind of more philosophical idea when it comes to compromise. If you have selected this card, it means that you are not making decisions all the way. Compromise is something that we do when we think that we can't have everything exactly the way that we want it. Now, certain instances, compromise is a very important thing, but for you specifically who have pulled this card, this is saying that compromise is affecting the way that you're on your path and affecting the way that you make decisions. So, according to Zen Osho Tarot, when we make compromises, it means that we're confused about the actual decision that we want to make. So making a decision based off of confusion does not promote growth. It only promotes stagnation. You can't go forward or backward if you can't jump in to a decision. The card asks you to try to understand why you have an urge for compromise. What is your thinking that has made you decide that you can't have all the way what you need or all the way what you want? Are you compromising for another individual, or are you compromising because you think what you want you can't have? So you're only allowing yourself to go halfway. This card urges you to never repress anything. Go all the way. If you're having a feeling about something, it means that that feeling needs to be addressed. That feeling needs to process itself all the way through you and not just get cut off right in the middle and being like, oh, don't have this feeling. I'm going to compromise and acknowledge some of these feelings are okay and some of them I'm going to forget about. That's a compromise. That's the kind of compromise I'm talking about today. So reflect on where in your life have you decided that you can't go all the way into something. What I'm getting when I read this is I feel that some of you out there are stagnating your decision making. You're not willing to go all the way in. You're not willing to put all of your eggs in one basket. You're not willing to decide what you want or decide what is right for you. I want to specify something in regards to making decisions. We get confused and we get afraid to make a clear-cut decision because we think it's so finite. Decisions are finite. According to this, confusion is a step. Confusion is a feeling. Confusion is a finite thing. You can be in confusion and that's where you are. You can be in a decision and that's where you are. But that doesn't mean that's where you're going to be tomorrow. So making a decision about where to go or what to do or how you feel about something, in no way, shape, or form means that this is a permanent state of reality and that you cannot get out of that decision. I have a saying. I've always said, yes, you made your bed and you should lie in it, but there is no rule that says you can't buy a new bed, you can't buy new sheets, you can't wash your clothes. You can absolutely change the things about your situation that you find that you don't agree with anymore. Our identities change constantly. I make decisions and sometimes I go back and say, that was not the decision I meant to make. and I'm going to make a new decision. That is absolutely okay. So for you people that chose card A, think about in your life where you have compromised what you actually want. Are you afraid to make a decision all the way? Are you afraid to take more steps forward? Are you comfortable in stagnation? And are you falling back on your ideologies that you're being safe? Are you falling back on the idea that this is a wise choice? So reflect on those, and I'll be right up with card B. If you chose card B, this is a very special card. You chose a major arcana card, which means a major arcana card in this specific deck means that it's a really strong presence in your life. This is a major thing. Either it's a life change, a shift, a growth of movement. So this is a really important card. So if you felt called to card B, that means something is shifting for you right now. And you pulled the Lovers. The Lovers in this deck is very different than the Lovers in the major tarot arcana deck. So if you pulled card B, that means that there's some relationship struggles in your life right now. I feel called to say that there are some relationship struggles, or at least kind of a process of thinking about what love is. And are you getting enough in your relationship? Are you just seeking a relationship? If you are not currently in a relationship and you are seeking a relationship, I feel called to tell you that reevaluate what you are seeking to get out of a relationship. This card, the Lovers card, really draws in on the idea of making a decision, about being ready to take a new step, and it's growing into the maturity of what relationships and love really is. If you're currently not in a relationship and feeling that a relationship is going to fulfill you, seek inside yourself and contemplate what type of love are you seeking? Are you seeking physical love? And according to this is a message for you saying physical attraction is not love. It's the seed of love. It can turn into it, but it's just a physical product and how we connect and how we bond, and it can lead to beautiful and joyous things. But sex is not a relationship. That's a form and a thing in a relationship. Are you seeking love for physical things? Are you seeking love for long-term things, not wanting to grow old, starting a family? Or are you seeking love and a relationship because you want to be unified with someone and do day-to-day things? I don't have the answer of what kind of relationship you need. There are too many of you out there to address one by one what kind of message. But if you're currently not in a relationship and seeking one and you chose card B, I am very encouraged to tell you to really evaluate in yourself why you are seeking love. What is the reason for? And understanding that relationships don't always equate to love. Love isn't always in a relationship, and there are so many different forms of love. Love is compassion. That is true love. That is compassion. So being patient and understanding and loving and all those things. So now, if you're currently in a relationship and you chose card B, what I am encouraged and urged to tell you is that you are being asked to look at what you are trying to get out of your current relationship. Are you maybe asking too much of your partner, expecting things that is not their job to fulfill for you? Are you expecting the love in your relationship to be this over-encompassing thing that completes you and makes you very, very happy? Where are there imbalances? Not based off of your partner. I'm not going to go into that kind of thing. Based off of you. What are your expectations? What are your alignments? What are you seeking in this relationship? What are you trying to get out of love? Are you in the stage of sex? Are you in the stage of the fragrance? Are you in compassion? Are you actually in that place of loving the person, of not expecting things from them, not needing them to be a specific way, but loving them for the sake of loving them in their essence and who they are? This is a very difficult thing to do. It is much easier said than done, but because you chose this card, it compels me to tell you that it is something that you are called to look at. Look at within yourself. How are you approaching love? How are you approaching relationship? Do you understand that when they give you compassion, that is a sign of love? Are you not receiving compassion? And is this why you felt called to do this card? And is that something that you need to do? Yeah. It's a complicated kind of a thing. It's kind of got two meanings, either outside or inside of a relationship. But either way, for both parties, outside or inside of a relationship, this is asking you to look at the many masks and realities of what love is and decide for yourself, do you understand that? do you know what real love actually looks like? So thank you guys for stopping by for a little tarot and talking. I hope you enjoyed it. I've got some other things coming up this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others. I can't wait to talk to some. Leave some comments. I love getting comments. And if some of you leave comments and being like, that's not what that card means, that's fine. I'm one of those people that believes that tarot is pretty personal, and I'm a different kind of reader. I've always been a different kind of reader, and I do things a different way. And this is just how I do it. This is just my interpretation and how I feel called to interpret at this moment. For some of you out there that I felt our energy connected, and these were some messages for some specific people, and some of you this won't apply, and that's kind of how it works. So thanks so much for stopping by. Love you guys, and I'll see you soon.